I'm absolutely honored to be here, particularly with some colleagues, old and new. I see the great Mac Thornberry in the audience, my mentor. When I first came into Congress, he's probably shaking his head as to how I went so far astray from his advice. And of course, Michelle Flournoy, who I've worked with for many years and who I've long admired for her thought leadership on defense issues. There's something that's kind of honestly been bugging me ever since I met Alex, I wasn't going to mention this, but I saw some of the pictures and graphics that he presented, and it reawakened some of these concerns. There's a lot of talk, obviously, when we talk about AI, about sort of whether this is a runaway technology, right? Whether the robots will take over and force us humans into slavery. Or extinction. And I thought to myself, and I've been thinking this for a while, what if this had actually already started to happen? What if the AI-powered robots had actually infiltrated human society surreptitiously in human form? And if you were to ask who would be your most logical candidates for such a secret AI-powered robot, Alex would have to be at the top of your list. I mean, look at the facts. This is someone who, while he was a student at MIT, tried to build a surveillance platform in his refrigerator to prevent his roommates from stealing his food. It's a total robot move right there. This is someone who drops out of MIT at 19 and founds an incredibly successful company. Where better to build a humanoid robot than in the shadow of the atomic bomb in Los Alamos, okay? So, Alex, are you or are you not an AI-powered robot? It's exactly what you would say if you were a secret robot. All jokes aside, I thought about what committee hat to wear today. I realized that among the committees in Congress, there are probably no three quite as interconnected on AI as those I'm privileged to be part of, both the Select Committee on the CCP, the Armed Services Committee, the Subcommittee on Information Technology and Cyber and Innovation, and the Intelligence Committee. And across these committees, and truly America at large, we spend a lot of time right now asking what are AI's capabilities and what are its dangers. And the most common answers are that AI is going to transform and disrupt entire industries, particularly knowledge work, where generative AI and large language models, according to some analysts, are going to cause a fundamental redistribution of talent within the economy. We're reading almost every day now how large language models can perceive, reason, and even act, bringing a level of automation to language tasks that has surprised everyone. And I think we'll look back on November 30th, 2022, the day ChatGPT was launched, as a historic day. Not necessarily because of the technology itself. The tech industry had no doubt already achieved similar or more performant capabilities, but I think what surprised everyone was how the public responded. The world seemed to love it, or at least be intrigued. It was thrilling. It pumped energy into a stale Silicon Valley that needed new energy. It could be remembered as one of the highest updates of technology in human history. It's adding millions of users in days. But now we're seeing some of the researchers who contributed to the development of these technologies cautioning the world about their destructive power. In late May, the Center for AI Safety published a 22-word statement that an extinction-level event alongside pandemics and nuclear catastrophe was now possible with AI. And AI, many argue, is now perceived as a runaway technology that needs immediate mitigation by governments. Some are suggesting we need to pause while we figure this out. What are we, those of us who live at the intersection of government and private sector, particularly the national security focus, what are we to make of all this froth caused by these researchers turned existentialists? How do we reconcile their concerns with the uniquely American urge for continuous progress and the idea that we can uplift the human experience by using these technologies? Are we to stop these technologies and deny ourselves a potential leap in new knowledge that use their promise? Or is this like, the Luddite response to the introduction of every revolutionary advancement, such as the automobile, the airplane, the elevator, electricity, the internet, the personal computer, and all the warnings that associated all of them? As someone who's been on the modern battlefield, I'll admit my view is a bit jaded, knowing what kills human beings, which is usually bullets, bombs, knives, cars, airplanes, physical objects used in anger or negligently to take lives. The physical world presents as many risks of runaway weaponization as does the digital world. I believe AI promises a bright future for our nation and economy and has risk, but it's risk that we can understand and control. Or put differently, in light of everything Alex said, it's risk that we have to understand and control and move forward confidently. One thing is for certain, the AI bashing is tremendously one-sided right now. And the business community, I would argue, with some notable exceptions, is disappointingly quiet on this matter. I hope in the coming months we'll see business forums like this one begin to address the benefits of these game-changing technologies and respond to the discourse. I can't say I understand the motivation of the researchers who are suddenly surprised by the technologies they birth, but the application and monitoring influence and control that will naturally accompany their deployment needs to come as loudly from the business community as it does from the government. This needs to not only be a true partnership, we need business to step up and exercise leadership. And if we mess this up, I believe we will lose this competition with the Chinese Communist Party before it really even begins. As Alex laid out, the Chinese Communist Party wants to use AI to perfect its model of total techno-totalitarian control, a model that would make George Orwell blush, given the scope of their totalitarian ambition. David Wang, a Harvard economics professor, recently gave a starting reflection on why governments like that of the CCP align and leverage AI with such ferocity. Autocracies seek to predict where people are, what they're thinking, how they're behaving, and artificial intelligence is fundamentally a technology for prediction. The key distinction here between the United States and China on AI is that they are using it to predict and suppress the actions of their own people, as well as ours, while the U.S. must stay focused on predicting and countering the behavior of enemy forces to expand, not suppress freedom. And where our freedom and security are suppressed, the American people look to the most capable military in the world, the United States Armed Forces, to stay ahead of the game and deter those who seek to do us harm. Put simply, if we lose this race, if we fail to establish the AI overmatch that Alex talked about, we risk allowing this technology to be dominated by a hostile force. Put even more simply, we are the good guys, and there are bad guys in the world that want to use this technology for bad purposes. And the sooner we recognize that, the sooner we can start getting our act together to win this competition and establish overmatch. So how do we do it? How can DoD operationalize AI to meet this mission? I would offer 3 simple steps that may sound simplistic to the sophisticated people in the audience. We use it to learn about our environment, we use it to act in the environment, and we use it to buy capacity for the environment. So let's start by putting the first into perspective. DoD is the largest and most dispersed bureaucracy and military force on the face of the earth. It possesses and develops vast amounts of data from every corner of the globe, from aerial logistics to the spread of biological threats to international maritime traffic. But the data is only as valuable as our ability to quickly analyze it for the purpose of making informed operational decisions, in some ways as simply and effectually as to strike or not to strike. And our growing number of adversaries with their similarly advancing cyber, military, and clandestine operations makes persistent ISR more data-intensive and vital than ever. In other words, we have more bad people doing more bad things that need good systems making good sense of their data to stop those bad things. Leveraging AI, from predicting adversarial fleet movement to monitoring troop movements as our physical presence in certain regions dissipate, the ability to collect more intelligence with fewer people means employing AI systems to improve our situational awareness, which then leads to the second thing we need to do. We turn to the question of to strike or not to strike. Maximizing AI integration and data management for tracking potential targets is only the first step. The second is perhaps the most difficult and concerning. Discriminating between these targets, conducting command and control operations, and potentially engaging them. Acting in the environment. Acting in the environment is where you have AI fusing autonomy and lethality for commanders to make life and death decisions, putting AI in the loop or near the loop or on the loop of life and death decisions. The public interpretation of this is that AI may be able to decide if, when, and how to cause destruction, and then to actually deliver the effect. I actually think that's an oversimplification of AI's role. AI supplements rather than supplants the role of human decision-making in the military. Put it like this: AI can write and print an essay, but it can't hand it to the teacher. And the same applies to its military potential. AI, as Navy Vice Admiral John Hill put it well, takes advantage of the brains of our sailors, our soldiers, our airmen, our guardian, that allows them to think about fighting the battle, not fighting the system. I'm now realizing while reading this quote that he didn't include Marines in a quote about brains. I'm insulted by this. Leave it to a Navy admiral to slight us. But done well, it provides quicker and clearer data and options so that the commander is better equipped to make moral, ethical, and operational decisions that ensure our security. And finally, perhaps as dull sounding as it is, but it's vital to mission success, we need to use AI to buy requisite capacity and capability to act in the environment. You understand the environment, you act in the environment, and you buy the capability to act in the environment. How do we accomplish this? Well, we need to reform the way DoD, and really the federal government at large, operates as a business to direct more funds towards munitions and readiness, not a bloated civilian workforce or an outdated acquisition process that bleeds taxpayer dollars. There's all these outside boards that do all these studies. I read the ones that Chairman Thornberry writes because they're very good. But in 2015, there was a DoD business board report projecting savings of $125 billion over 5 years, merely by consolidating and streamlining DoD purchasing and operating practices. Let's say even a fraction of that is true. Multiply it by the potential of leveraging AI to streamline DoD processes and think about the savings we could harness and then plow those savings into critical readiness needs, into acquisition needs, into the development of new systems. That is the opportunity that is right in front of us. And so I hope you'll discuss this today. I look forward to hearing what comes out of this forum. I'm honored to be here. As conversations in the U.S. consider a pause on AI advancement to, quote, lay ground rules, let's just remember that our adversaries, namely the Chinese Communist Party, are not pausing. They will not take a pause. They are collecting, and let's also get this part extraordinarily clear, stealing troves of data to train and equip their systems against us. The danger is not simply in their actions, it would be in our lack of action. Anytime we cede in this competition is time used against us. Maintaining the American technical edge in society and most certainly on the battlefield means full steam ahead. And both as a result and as Americans have proven time and again, we will emerge stronger than our enemies and with a higher standard for ourselves and for the free world. So I want to thank Alex and everyone at Scale for leading the fight for freedom and technological innovation. I want to thank all of you for being here today, and I look forward to having you testify before our committee on the Hill sometime soon. I'm sure all your government relations people are really enthusiastic about that right now. But truly, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for having me. Appreciate it.